How did I do $25,000 in sales my very first year in business? My very first year. Okay, I only had been open since June and this is December. In 1 month, I made $25,000. I'm sharing my secrets with you today, right now, so stay tuned. My name is Emily Benson. I'm founder of Stylish and Successful, former owner of the Fashion Truck, I still own fashiontruck.com, and author of the Ultimate Boutique Handbook. So I'm really glad you're joining me today because on this live stream, I'm going to share with you secrets that I haven't really told many people. And it popped in my head the other night that this is the time, it's December, right? This is the time I need to share this information because you have the ability right now today to shift the way you're thinking, to shift the way you're working so that you too can have a $25,000 Christmas. December, not even Christmas, just December. So here are my 3 tips. Number 1, I was my own best advocate. So what does that mean? To me, that means that I was willing to go to bat for myself any day of the week. I was talking about my business all the time. I was reaching out to people who could help me all the time. And I was following up with those people, right? People are busy. And I was a new entrepreneur and I had never had a business before. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to whoever I possibly can that can help me, that can partner with me, that might have an idea for me. Like, I'm not saying you should reach out to people because you feel like you'll get something in return. That's not it. I'm saying that you have to be basically like the Associated Press for your own business. Does that make sense? So you have to be your own advocate because let's be honest. In today's world where we're bombarded with information all the time in our news feeds, on the radio, everywhere, things get jumbled, things get jambled, and people don't listen. So by advocating for yourself all the time and sharing one message, okay? If you have 4 messages in your business, if you're like, I have a boutique and I also sell 31 and I also do pop-up shops and I also do kids parties, it's too much. And I fell into that trap too after many years of business. I fell into that trap of thinking I need to do more in my business instead of doing more for my business. That's the shift right there. When you do more for your business, you become an advocate for your business. So for me, I became the advocate who was constantly emailing City Hall, who, when the people from City Hall said, hey, can you come and meet us? I said, yes, what time? And they said, 8 a.m. I said, oh, yes, I will drive in Boston traffic, leave at 5:30 in the morning to be able to be there by 8 o'clock so I can be bright and rosy and make that relationship. And that's my second tip, is making relationships. So because I had made that relationship with City Hall, because I had I had corporate experience in the past, so I knew how to play the political game, right? I knew how to build relationships with people in a way that was authentic, but also had both of our end goals in mind, right? So when you're going to work with someone or you think, I want to work with this person, I want to partner with this person, even if it's just them hosting a party for you, right? Maybe you have a pop-up shop, maybe you're a LuLaRoe consultant, and you want to partner with someone to say, hey, will you host me? The number 1 thing you need to do is build that relationship and be authentic in that relationship. Because at the end of the day, it really is about the synergy of 2 people coming together or 2 organizations, whatever that might be, a business and an organization, to help the tide rise, right? That's what happens. So when you build relationships, you're able to use those relationships. And here's the thing too, is the more people that know about what you're doing, so when you're advocating for yourself, tip number 1, and then you're building those relationships with people while you're advocating for yourself, right? It's all this synergy. What ends up happening is people come to you, right? And they say, oh my gosh, I heard that so-and-so was doing this and that, and you would be perfect. I found my first huge event, the event that like really was a huge part of my business. I found that because other people said, hey, I think there's this thing in Boston that happens and you should probably be at it. And I was like, cool, I've never heard of it. I was new to living in Boston. I had literally no really clue what was going on here. I'd been living in Manhattan for 4 years and never, as an adult, I had never lived in Massachusetts. And so coming back was really hard. I had to really make all those relationships new. And so because I had built relationships, because I was an advocate for my business, and when I say I was talking about it a lot, I mean, I was posting on Facebook about it. I was telling everyone, what do you do? Oh, I have a fashion truck, actually. Oh, really? What's a fashion truck? Oh, let me tell you all about it. And I had my 2-minute elevator pitch, right? If you don't have that pitch of what you sell or what your business is about, you need to get that down right now, because everyone you meet this holiday season is a perfect way to make a connection, whether it's at a coffee shop, whether it's at an event, whether you're out and about with family and friends. I would run into people all the time who would, maybe they were from high school or my mom knew them or something like that. And they'd be like, what are you doing now, Emily? I'd be able to say, oh, I have this really cool fashion truck that I started and I sell chic. It's a boutique on wheels where I sell chic women's apparel and accessories, all for under $100. That was my elevator pitch, right? So that allowed me a mechanism to advocate for myself because I knew exactly what I was doing. I mean, way too many entrepreneurs, way too many boutique owners who don't know what their little elevator pitch is. And in that elevator pitch, you can include who you serve, what you sell, how much your price points are, right? I'm still working on that for this business. I've been challenged because I've gone to a lot of events lately and I've had to really skim down, what is it that I do, right? It's Stylish and Successful. I help retail and product-based entrepreneurs grow their business through mindset, margins, and marketing. Pretty great, right? Okay. So if you don't have that pitch, you can't advocate for yourself. So I always go off on tangents because I want to help you. If you're here and you have a question or you're watching the replay, you have a question for me, just post it in the comments below or just say hi. I'd love to know who's watching. If you have a boutique, tell me the name. Post the link to your boutique. I'd love to see what you are up to. Here's a great opportunity for you to advocate for yourself, right? Advocate right here. I have people that watch my videos. I get 200 to 8,000 views. Great place to advertise your business, right? Go ahead, go for it. I am all about helping. So advocate for your business, build relationships with people, even if you don't feel like there's something you're gonna get in return, right? Like I am never going to be the person that tells you to build a relationship for a result. I'm gonna say build that relationship in an authentic way because you genuinely like that person or you like their business, like make that relationship. Hi, Jennifer, good to see you. Thanks for joining me today. So my third tip, thanks for staying on. My third tip, you guys, is that in December, when I made $25K, my first December in business, and let me remind you, I didn't have my brick and mortar yet. I didn't have a website. I had like a really crappy website. I just had my truck. I had my truck, I had my products, and I had myself. 3 things, that's it. In December, I worked pretty much every day. I knew I had 24 days to work my butt off, and for 24 days straight, I just pushed, right? I got good sleep, I ate really, really well, and I asked people for help when I needed help because I'm not a fan of burnout. However, I want you to make sure that you're working this month. This is the month in retail, generally in retail, in 90% of retailers, this should be your biggest month, okay? So this is the month where you just buckle down and you work hard. In January, you take a break. I used to take January through March off. It just didn't work because I made so much money when the months that I did work, right? So that's the balance there. So work every day. Accept what you are asked to come to. Now, again, that doesn't mean say yes to everything because I do think when you have a boutique, especially if you're doing pop-up shops or you're mobile, like I never did craft fairs. Craft fairs don't work. I never did like church events unless it was like well, we don't have like big churches here like they have in the South. I'm in New England, I'm in Boston. So it's a different vibe at churches here. It's a lot more traditional, you know. So I didn't do a ton of that stuff. I did do like actually an event at a temple, which was good, but it was a ladies' night shopping event, right? So it was meant for that. And it was a fundraiser. So I did do that event. But I would say stick to events that you know are going to work. So that's private parties, shopping nights, and any event that is planned around women getting together and spending money, okay? You don't need to run sales in December. If you are, you need to be careful, okay? Be careful what you're running sales on, when you're running them, and how you're running them. The number one thing in December to realize is that most people at boutiques will expect to pay full price and will be okay paying full price at your boutique, okay? There's no need to mark down. Maybe you run a sale on a weekend. Maybe you run a sale on your website for like, you know, free shipping, something like that. But you don't need to run sales all in December, okay? I see that happening here and there and I'm getting worried. Unless you have inventory that's really bad or unless you have things that can't carry over, you got to get rid of that stuff. So let me recap. If you guys have questions, please post them below, okay? I'm going to recap really quick. I'm looking at my Post-it over here. I always have a Post-it for my lives because I have 3 tips. So my first tip, whenever you start a business, whenever you have your own business, is please advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself and your business and be excited about advocating for it, right? No one else is going to do it for you until you do it for yourself. Does that make sense? So I talked about on my live stream on Monday, I talked about how once you get one woman hooked, right? She tells this person, this person, this person. But to get that one person to start talking about you, you need to start talking about yourself. And that's the most important thing, is being your own best business card, your own best advertisement, right? So whether that means wearing clothes from your store or, you know, bringing it up in conversation somehow, like, oh, I'm just busy working at my boutique today, you know, like those are the things that you want to do to advocate for yourself. Second is build relationships with anyone, with everyone. Build relationships, be open to that, be authentic in that, and know that the relationships you're building are worthy of your time, they're worthy of your energy, and that they don't have to yield a result, and they don't have to yield a result quickly if they are, right? I've heard so many stories from very successful entrepreneurs who said, you know, we were at the world's greatest speaker training 3 weeks ago with Brendon Burchard. Now, if you don't listen to Brendon Burchard's podcast or watch him on YouTube, get on that, okay? Even if you're not an entrepreneur, he's amazing. He told a story of how he got his biggest speaking gig from someone who had been on his list for 4 years, on his email list. 4 years. You know, people come back around. Thanks for the likes, guys. Hi. Say hi if you're here. I'd love to know who's watching. I can't see everyone. I can see there's people on, but I can't see. So you never know who down the road is going to help you. You never know who those connections are going to be. And you never know where you're going to make connections, right? I've made connections at yoga retreats. I've made connections at networking events. I've made connections at the grocery store, right? You never know where your next connection is going to be. So make those relationships and be authentic in them. The third tip was that in December, I worked every day. You have 24 days to work in December, and honestly, you should be working every single day. Hey, Dee. Hi, I love you too. Who else is there? Michael. Hi, Michael. Oh, I can totally answer questions. Okay, that's great. So Michael asked, how much should a boutique owner invest in seasonally focused items? So holiday attire, holiday focused impulse buy items. Hi, Alex. And then he also asked about gift wrapping. Okay, so how much should you invest? Well, it depends on your price point. It depends on how big your store is. So I would say a seasonal assortment, number one, you should have been bringing in, I would hope that a seasonal assortment, seasonal things would be brought in somewhere around November 1st. Some people like to start October 15th. we'll call it November 1st though. So you should have seasonal items. I would start marking down those seasonal items or starting to run sales on those seasonal items around December 15th to 17th. So once you hit January 15th, you're not going to sell any more hats. You're not going to sell gloves. Maybe some of the impulse items if they are non-seasonal. That's why I love to have non-seasonal gift items like lip gloss, nail polish, hair ties, things like that I can sell all year. They're gift items, but they're not seasonal. When I used to sell seasonal things, it was always like hat, scarves, mittens, head wrap things with the cute bow, or like the flower patch, things like that. So I would say it depends on how much you invest, because I don't know what your sales are, right? If you told me you sold $1 million a year, I would say, okay, maybe I'd spend around $20,000, $10,000 on items that were seasonal, because I knew you were going to churn through them. So you can base that on history, if you have history. If you don't have history, what I would do in your case is I would invest a smaller amount up front on a broader assortment of items, right? So I'm buying like one hat in a few colors, one style of mittens in a few colors. And then as I see selling, I'm going and reinvesting, right? I'm working with vendors who can ship quickly, who can ship immediates. So I can quickly update and add more or get rid of when I need to, right? So if you're in your first year, I would say it's all about breadth. It's not about depth. Do not be buying anything in depth yet if you are in your first 12 months of business, unless you have like a home run, sold out in a day item. Then maybe you can invest a little bit more. Okay, so it's hard to tell, but this is where fast fashion comes in. This is where being a great merchant comes in. If you're a great merchant, you have the instinct to say, wow, that's really working. I'm gonna go chase that item and I'm gonna bring more in. Or, oh God, that item is not selling. I don't know why. Number one, figure out why. Number two, don't make that mistake again, right? So being a merchant is about reacting. So I would say in a smaller boutique, definitely go broad and then chase into items, if that makes sense. Okay. Also, gift wrapping, Michael asked about. With gift wrapping, I would say if you feel like it works for your customer, your ideal customer, you could offer it. I would offer it for free. I wouldn't charge for it. I think that's a great perk of being at a boutique. I don't think boutiques will ever go out of business because women and men, I won't genderize this, but I think people love that personal touch. It's never going to go away. It's just like, when I go to a restaurant and they have those iPads, or when I go to CVS and they have the self-checkout, I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want a person. You don't know how many times a week I'm like, I just want a person. I don't want to deal with a machine. Like, that is not going to work for me. And that is why boutiques, I think, always will have a place. If you run your boutique well and you have great customer service, you will never go out of business. You will be able to expand and thrive. So I would say gift wrapping for sure. I would do it for free. But again, I had a mobile boutique. My first business was the fashion truck. So it was a very 105 square feet basically. So gift wrapping wasn't totally an option for me. What I did do is I had small bags, and what I would do is I would get some fun tissue, right? So I'd do like a tissue wrap and some ribbons. You have to make it work on what space you have too. Like, I didn't have the space. My cash wrap was like this big, so it didn't work for me, right? If you have a bigger boutique, if you have a brick and mortar, absolutely set up a gift wrapping station and get a process down for it, right? Limit your options. Don't have 12 choices for gift wrap, maybe have just a few. But gift wrapping, I think, is a great option. So, okay. I'm going to jump off because I have a million other things to do today. So I'm going to recap really quickly how I made $25K my first year in my fashion truck business was when I advocated for myself all the time. From June to December, I was always advocating, and I'm always advocating for myself. You have to do that if you really want to be an entrepreneur, if you really want to be a successful entrepreneur. 2 is build relationships. Build relationships everywhere you go. These are good just entrepreneur tricks too. 3 is I worked every single day in December. Sometimes I did 2 events a day. but I knew that December was the time to capture who I needed to capture. So, okay, Jennifer says, Nashville Wraps has cute bags. Cool, Jennifer, I am not an advocate for buying seasonal bags. I always bought white bags and put my branded sticker on it because at the end of the day, if you want to build a great boutique, you have to build a great brand. So as long as things are on brand and you're going to use those bags year round, that's why I just always had white bags. They worked for me. And then I could dress them up as needed depending on the season. So for Valentine's Day, I got red and pink tissue. For Christmas, I would get generally sparkly tissue because that's my jam. But bags are, I like to buy bags in bulk because you would get a discount for it. So don't go too seasonal, guys, at any season. I don't care if it's holidays, Valentine's Day, summer. Do not go too seasonal. So, okay. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Emily Benson. I'm founder of Stylish and Successful, the fashion truck, and author of the Ultimate Boutique Handbook. So I hope you had fun on this live stream. I will see you soon. Short plug, if you haven't checked out my 6-figure blueprint, the price is going up on Monday. So please reach out to me if you have any questions about it, like ASAP, because that price is gonna go up $200. So I don't want you to miss out and have to pay more. So cool. All right. Bye, guys.